Before we get into the latest on the Bengals, including the Joe Burrow injury, if you want us to be live for one of our famous watch parties for Monday Night Football, then share the video right now. If we get enough shares, bosses said we can go live and even earlier than normal. Hit that share button for me right now. We begin with what else but the latest on the Joe Burrow injury. He re-aggravated that calf in week 2. Now, Burrow said he was going to re-enter the game. That was the plan after he had clearly tweaked it, limped off the field after the touchdown throw to T. Higgins, and then was working with the massage gun on the sidelines. But his week 3 status is very much in doubt. Now, the Bengals don't play until Monday Night Football. That extra day of rest might come into play, but you do have to protect your investment. We'll go more in depth on that here in a little bit. But this is what Zach Taylor said in his last press conference. I think, first of all, we got to hear what the doctors have to say. Once we have that information, we'll figure out what we're going to do. Now, NFL Network reports that Burrow is feeling better over the last 2 days, feels better than what he felt on Sunday. He was very somber in that post-game press conference, very serious. He said it was very sore. It was clearly bothering him. So it gives him a shot to play. But there is a very real shot that Joe Burrow is unable to go in week 3. Or because it's only week 3, the Bengals play it cautiously. They protect that multi-million-dollar investment that they have in the quarterback room, and it adds to just a lot of unknown, uncertainty about what the Bengals are going to have at quarterback and what I kind of consider a must-win game. I would say it's maybe 50-50. Early in the week, they don't practice until Thursday. I would bet he's going to be a DNP on Thursday. If he's limited, it's a great sign for him being able to go. We'll probably know if and when the Bengals make practice squad call-ups the day before their Monday Night Football matchup because they only have one other quarterback on the active roster. If you see Will Grier as a practice squad call-up before you get to Monday Night Football, that's a very present sign, an obvious sign that they at least think there's a chance Burrow's not out there. And it would end up being, by the way, Jake Browning as your assumed starter at quarterback. Last update from the Bengals reporters is that he moved fine on Monday, which, I mean, everyone knew they were going to watch him when he walked to the training room, so not much to read into from that perspective. So do you want Joe Burrow to play in week 3? If he's out there, he's not going to be 100%. He's probably not going to be for a few more weeks anyway, but it's a very important game because you're already 0-2. So do you want Burrow to play in week 3? Y for yes, N for no. It is today's pinned comment. If the ad comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and go vote. I am not sure I trust Jake Browning. Although I will say this part too. He was clearly better than Trevor Siemian to begin the season, or the preseason, I should say. And I would probably feel more confident in Browning if you weren't 0-2. If you were 2-0, sit Burrow. You're fine. It's one game. If you were 1-1, you're probably okay. The goal of having a backup quarterback who has to play a game or two is to go around 500. But you can't go 0-1 right now. You need to win this week. You cannot start the year 3-0. Can you still fight and claw your way into the postseason starting 0-3? Sure. That happens like 1% of the time, if that. You're banking on being, just like you were last year, a significant outlier if you don't win this football game. You have to win this week. So because of how important this game is, I cannot start the year 0-3, but I also can't jeopardize my December run, November run without Burrow. That's a really tough decision for Cincinnati. We'll know more as the week goes on. Also probably worth monitoring how the odds ebb and flow this week. Now you can bet on this football game or at least track the odds with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use promo code CHAT125 for a 125% deposit bonus. That's chatsports.com/bet. Promo code CHAT125. $100 down gets you the deposit bonus. The line continues to shrink in favor of the Bengals. It's now down to -2. was -3. It opened it, depending on what site you were on, -5, -6. That's a pretty significant drop-off. I still would be surprised, even at home in prime time, if a team led by Jake Browning was a betting favorite over a team led by Matthew Stafford, as bad as that Rams defense might end up being this year. Let's keep an eye on that line. If it continues to drop, it's already built in uncertainty on if Burrow will play. I think it might drop more, though, if they don't think he's going to go. Some more rumors here, some of which are really weird. Bring back Carlos Dunlap. What year is it? Bleacher Report made this suggestion. And look, they're right that the pass rush hasn't been good enough so far this year. The Bengals, that entire front, despite what Ben Davey might try to say, has not been very good so far this year. They have got to be better in the pass rush area. I would say they've been one of the more disappointing pass rush teams in the NFL. All these dudes have been paid, your starters, right? Edge rushers, Hendrickson, Hubbard, those guys have gotten contracts. So it is concerning. Now, I will also make note that Bleacher Report claimed, well, Joseph Asai and Cam Sample are injured, which Sample has played both games. He's clearly fine. And Asai, I think, is going to be back this week. So, I'm not worried about that one. But the Bengals had 9 pressures all game against the Ravens. That has to be better. I don't think Carlos Dunlap is your savior, okay? I get that the pass rush numbers have been good the past 4 years, frankly, even a small sample size with the Chiefs. But Carlos Dunlap is 34 years old. Do we think he's going to save it? Not to mention, maybe not the best ending of terms between Dunlap and Cincinnati. So what do you guys think? Would you bring back Dunlap? S for sign, P for pass. You can vote in the comment section right now. Look, the pass rush does have to be better, but I'm paying Sam Hubbard. I'm paying B.J. Hill. I'm paying DJ Reader. I'm already paying Trey Hendrickson, who I think will be much better after he was really a non-factor in week 2. He had 1 pressure. That's not like Trey Hendrickson. I think they'll kind of get back on track here. And I don't think your answer is a 34-year-old Carlos Dunlap. Really? Who are you cutting, by the way? You gonna cut Sam Hubbard? Or you're going to cut Cam Sample? No, you're not going to do that. I know you're not banking on too much from Mike Hilton in year 1, or not Mike Hilton, Miles Murphy in year 1, although you can keep blitzing Mike Hilton if you want to. But at Joseph Asai, I think we'll be back this week. Just go with your guys. Don't go add Carlos Dunlap. What year is it? Now, assuming we get enough shares, we will be live for Monday Night Football this week. I am excited. I love primetime games. Should be a fun one. The Bengals need it after all. So subscribe if you have not already done so, and join our watch party, youtube.com/Bengals TV. Let's talk Cam Akers trade. Again, I said the rumors were weird, right? Pro Football Focus saying that they've ID'd the Bengals as a top landing spot because Chris Evans has a hamstring injury, which is true. But Trayveon Williams is kind of, I think, already their back, the number 2 back, and Chase Brown is there as well. The argument of you're going to lean more on the football or on the ground game if Joe Burrow misses time is accurate. I would also just give Joe Mixon more carries. I think Mixon deserves to be more involved at this point. And I'll make this joke again. If you watch this on Chat Sports, you've heard it before. If I had a nickel for every time the Rams benched Cam Akers after it seemed like he was going to be their guy as the starting back, and then were publicly shopping him before the NFL trade deadline, I'd have 2 nickels, which is not a lot, but it's weird that it's already happened twice. Akers, I thought he'd be the guy again this year, and then he did not do much of anything in week 1. He did save fantasy owners who played him a decent performance with that garbage time touchdown, but something is off with Cam Akers and the Rams. Now, Akers and Zach Taylor, I don't think actually overlapped, by the way, in Los Angeles, so do keep that in mind. I don't have much interest here because I got Chase Brown, I've got Williams, I've got Chris Evans. I'm not trading away an asset for a backup who has fallen out of favor twice with the same regime. So would you trade for Cam Akers? 1 for yes, 0 for no. I am voting 0, but I want to hear from you in the comment section right now. We're back again with this one, too. Bleacher Report says the Bengals are a top 2 destination for Jonthan Taylor. But are they? Here was the argument. The Bengals should also consider boosting their ground game with a back like Taylor. If Cincinnati believes they can make a Super Bowl run in 2023, it needs to find an upgrade over the merely good Joe Mixon. Here's the thing. No, they don't. A running back has not put a team over the top, which is what Bleacher Report's basically saying, since Emmitt Smith. Hasn't been done. Look at all the teams that have won Super Bowls the last decade. How many of them had a merely good back? All of them. In fact, they didn't top out above merely good because that's how football works these days. Taylor is a very good football player. Don't get me wrong. And if the Colts were like, hey, we give him to you for a 5th, okay, sure. But Taylor's whole issue is that he wants big money. I am not paying Jonthan Taylor big money right now. I might be paying T. Higgins big money, so I'm not going to give it to a running back. I need my draft picks. The Bengals are not going to be ultra aggressive with their salary cap. That means they have to draft well. So I want as many picks as possible. And given what the Colts have recently been doing, by the way, they're probably going to ask for T. Higgins in exchange because they asked for Jalen Waddle and they asked for Christian Watson. I'm not doing that. That's a stupid trade idea. Frankly, I'm good with Joe Mixon. You've restructured his deal / he took a pay cut. You're fine with him as your option. I am not trading away a big asset, whether that's draft pick or player or some combination, for a running back who wants big money. So I'm not paying that. So I'm passing on Taylor pretty easily.